For years, the story of this tutor was hidden in plain sight, buried in digital records, overlooked by everyone. Mr. Harrison seemed like a model educator, positive reviews, grateful students, and a reputation for helping those in need. But the truth was masked by the system's blind spots. His victims were invisible, girls without parents to check in, often in foster care or living with distant relatives. With no one to notice changes or raise concerns, their voices were lost. The system saw them as names on a list, not as individuals. Online education platforms grew rapidly, prioritizing growth over safety. Background checks and initial screenings were in place, but ongoing monitoring was weak. Mr. Harrison exploited this, knowing he'd be left alone once approved. He targeted those with no one to speak for them, using the platform's trust as a shield. This is a story of how technology enabled a predator to find the most vulnerable. But it's also about hope, about people who finally started asking the right questions. They looked past the glowing reviews and dug into the data. They listened to whispers of concern others ignored. Their determination shows that even well-kept secrets can be uncovered. The truth emerges when good people refuse to look away. It's a reminder. Sometimes, the most dangerous secrets are the ones hiding in plain sight. We must learn to see what others miss, and we must never stop asking, who is being left unseen? Mr. Harrison's disguise wasn't a mask. It was his carefully crafted persona. Online, he was the perfect tutor, kind, patient, and understanding. His profile radiated warmth and empathy, filled with stories of overcoming struggles. He targeted girls who hinted at being alone, sending messages that made them feel seen. His words created instant trust, even before the first lesson. His profile picture showed him with a friendly dog, hobbies included volunteering and reading, everything designed to seem safe. He avoided anything that could seem threatening, presenting himself as gentle and fatherly. For girls lacking reliable adults, this was irresistible. The platform saw a tutor with great reviews. Students saw a caring mentor. No one saw the predator beneath. He knew trust was his greatest tool. Once he earned it, he could begin isolating his students. His persona was a perfect mask, allowing him to operate undetected. He made himself the ally they'd always wanted, and with their trust, he began to close the world around them. Lessons began as expected, focused on academics, patient, encouraging. Students saw their grades improve and credited Mr. Harrison for their success. Gradually, the sessions shifted. He started asking about their lives, feelings, and worries, positioning himself as a mentor. Your well-being matters as much as your grades, he'd say. For girls with no one else, this was powerful. Personal conversations grew, academics faded. He shared his own vulnerabilities, encouraging them to open up. Late-night lessons became common, adding secrecy and intimacy. He became their confidant, the only adult they trusted. If they mentioned other adults, he'd subtly undermine them. "They can't understand you like I do," he'd say. He built a wall around his students, making himself the only person inside. The digital classroom became a bridge, one that led straight to isolation. What began as tutoring became total control, and the students never saw the shift until it was too late. Every lesson was staged. Neat background, warm lighting, no personal details. Mr. Harrison's environment projected stability and trustworthiness. He learned his students' schedules, suggesting times when no one else would be around. "Would 9 p.m. work after your chores?" he'd ask, always seeming thoughtful. He blurred boundaries, messaging late at night to check in. He became a constant digital presence, always first to offer comfort or advice. This made it hard for students to form other relationships. The controlled environment and strategic timing created a bubble of false security. Inside it, the student felt safe, never realizing it was all an illusion. Once trust was secured, Mr. Harrison built invisible walls. He made himself the center of his students' worlds, weakening their ties to others. If they made new friends, he'd plant seeds of doubt. Be careful, not everyone has your best interests at heart. He discouraged seeking help from teachers or social workers. subtly criticizing them. "They don't care about you like I do," he'd insist. This created a sense of us against the world. He became their cheerleader, therapist, and only source of validation. Praise was constant, but so was the reminder that they needed his guidance. Soon, students couldn't make decisions without him. The walls he built were psychological, stronger than any lock. Students felt protected, not realizing they were trapped. The dependency was complete. He isolated them not by force, but by taking over their minds. They believed he was their protector. In reality, he was their captor. An escape felt impossible. For years, no one saw the pattern, until the data told the story. A data analyst named Sarah noticed Mr. Harrison's unusually high retention rate. Nearly all his long-term students were girls, ages 14 to 17, with no active guardians. Sarah dug deeper, cross-referencing agency records. The pattern was undeniable. He targeted the most vulnerable. She brought her findings to her manager and teamed up with a former social worker. Together, they reviewed chat logs and lesson times, confirming late-night sessions and grooming language. The data revealed what no single student could: a calculated pattern of predatory behavior. Piece by piece, they built a case strong enough to break through his perfect persona. Technology and human insight combined to expose the truth. The secret, hidden in plain sight, was finally uncovered. It took persistence, teamwork, and a refusal to ignore the uncomfortable. And it changed everything. The story of Mr. Harrison is a warning and a call to action. Safety in the digital world can't be assumed. It must be built and maintained. Platforms must go beyond background checks, investing in data analysis and train professionals to spot grooming and manipulation. Transparency and accountability are essential. Guardians and social workers, your vigilance is the first line of defense. Ask questions, check in, and create space for honest conversations. You don't need to be a tech expert, just present and willing to listen. Educators teach digital safety and boundaries. Empower young people to trust their instincts and speak up. Remind them it's okay to say no, to end uncomfortable conversations, and to report inappropriate behavior. Their safety matters more than anyone's feelings. To every young woman, you have the right to be safe and heard. If something feels wrong, trust yourself and tell someone. You are not alone, and you are never to blame. As a community, we must listen, believe, and protect. Together, we can ensure every girl learns and grows, safely and freely. The truth will come out, but only if we're willing to look for it, and only if we refuse to let anyone remain unseen.